So it's one I felt we could all work on. The goal of this, as I said, was to first show Zoom and give everyone a chance to be on and look, but then also to talk through what I've been doing around creating more robust plant signs for the plants that we have in the various demo gardens. I know you've all seen them. It's not a necessarily complex process, but it is time consuming. And if I can get 10 other people working on them, then we'll have a whole library of cards that we can put out. My vision, and it's just mine at this point, obviously I'm open to any guidance from other master gardeners, but obviously we don't want to have every plant out there with this larger signage, because it would look like just a field of little signs. But as things go into bloom, people walk by and say, oh, that's really pretty, or that's really interesting. I wish I had more information. I remember that Latin name and unlikely to remember the common names. Having the QR code built in would take you right to the plant finder information, and we can then just kind of cycle them out as plants come into bloom or into season as appropriate. I was in the shade garden this morning, and I didn't realize that hellebore was already blooming. I'd really never seen it. I never had it in my garden, and kind of wish I had a sign for that right now. So I wanted to show you that process. When I was doing this for the Monarch Watch, we landed on using the Missouri Botanical Garden website as our resource, knowing that it's well funded. There are literally, you can see in this screen, over 7,500 plants where they've taken the time to provide an overview and pictures of many of the plants that are out there. And this will be a good opportunity. I don't know the Latin name of the hellebore. I do know that it's under H in the Botanical Gardens website. And if I scroll down, actually these are going to be all Latin. So I'm going to go back. So it's organized by no. Does anyone know the Latin name? All right, well, then I'll do another one, because we've
I think you're oh,
go ahead. Am I spelling it wrong still?
It's hellebore, Hellebo.
Ah, it is hellebore.
Hellebore. Watch me be wrong.
All right, no, you're right. So this is what you are faced with once you look it up. What I've been doing is we've got several different versions within the shade garden at the fairgrounds. Once you find the one that you're looking for, and this one is that more greenish culture, the nice part about having this plant finder is that if you could do something simple to take you right to this page, you have all the information that you might want here on the Missouri Botanical Garden page. And by clicking on that link and getting to this page, the information for this page shows up in the menu. And I'm hoping, can everyone see the menu bar?
Yes.
At the top?
Yes.
Because that's what we want to highlight and click. And when I was instructing people back in my company, I worked in the training department. The first thing I told them about technology is learn the value of the right click. We're all used to clicking with the left button on the mouse. The right click has most of the common functions that any particular application has by default. So if you're in Microsoft Word and you right click on something, it'll typically give you cut and paste and copy as right click options. In Safari, which is the web browser that Apple uses, right clicking gives you that same list of options, the most common ones. And in this case, I want to copy this web page or the information on the web page just by highlighting it and copying it. There are a number of different QR code generators. If you go in and do a Bing or a Google search on free QR generator, there's a number of them. This one QR stuff is the one that I use. And involve, as you can see, it looks really busy. It's really simple. It's a website URL, and all that needs to be done is delete out or highlight what's there already. And I have the page open, so I'm going to paste over the information that I just took from the Missouri Botanic Garden website. And when I hit OK or return, in the Apple world anyway, it automatically creates and downloads a QR code.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's all there is to it. And then a QR code is the QR stands for, I think, quick review. And it's just a way of digitizing a string of characters. And it creates it into a picture. And by doing so, I know that the later versions of Android's operating system and all of the updated versions of Mac or iOS, the phone operating system on iPhones, simply opening up your camera and pointing it at a QR code will take you to whatever that information is. And it's frequently a web page. So if you all were to pick up your iPhone or your Android phone, open up the camera and point it at this screen, it would take you to that Hellbore web page on your phone. So anyone have their phone, want to do that now?
I'm trying it.
I'm trying to, do you actually take the picture?
No, all you got to do is hover the camera over the web page and it will drop down from the top. And you touch on that drop down screen at the top of your phone.
Mine's not doing it.
No, mine's not either.
Is it an iPhone?
Mine's an Android.
Yeah, depending upon the operating system the Android phones are using, you may have to download a QR reader. I know the latest versions of Android all have it built in, but not every phone is kept up to date. In the iPhone world, you have to. But does anyone have an iPhone, want to try it? Because I did it with mine and it goes right to the web page.
And basically any QR reader that I can download should work?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a standard code or digitizing technology. So anyone you have red laser, QR, and there's a bunch of different options.
I have an Android and I had to open my reader app and then it goes right to the page.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, I do know that some of the most recent phones, Android phones, have it built into the operating system. But not all that's one of the challenges with Android is that depending upon your whether it's a Samsung or a Google phone or whatever, they don't necessarily keep the operating systems up to date. Apple, as I said, forces it.
I have a QR scanner and I used that and it opened it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's, as I said, it's, you can prove it to yourself or just take my word for it. All it has done, it's taken that long string of characters and put it into a digitized little picture. So this now creates the QR code. What I've been doing next, and I'm going to jump over to Chrome. I use Microsoft Word just because I've been doing it forever. I'm very familiar with the Office suite, but you can also go into Google Docs and open up, and I will send out, there's a number of things I will send out to all the participants, the Plant Finder website, the QR code website, as well as this Google Docs template where the screen is split into 2 columns. And what we're going to do is add in a final 4th card that then would show up as a, and I'll take you over to the Word document to see what it looks like in a bigger form, like that. Those pages then I print out on the colored printer at the fairgrounds. And I use that printer because it has a wax toner rather than an ink toner. So it will remain viable for years, whereas the inks tend to fade. But this,
So maybe it means it's a laser type printer?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a laser toner, and it's going to last longer. I love it. Zoom's extending our meeting. But these, they're set up the way that you can see that they kind of have a border around them. Avery makes a card that is that's quartered of a 8.5 by 11 sheet. And then there's other companies that make laminated pouches, thick laminated pouches that fit those cards. You got to do a little bit of trimming, but they fit in there. You laminate them, and now you have a very weather resistant card with the name, the QR code. In this case, where we're using in the Monarch Watch Gardens, I'll zoom in on these a bit. One of the things that I had said would be nice is to be able to see that this is the host plant for this particular butterfly. So if you love the butterfly, now you know which plant. These are going out in Monarch Watch. So the host of the swallowtail will prefer to plant or lay its eggs on a pawpaw tree. If you like that butterfly and you want to put a pawpaw somewhere near your house. So that's one, wherever I know there's a host plant, I've been doing that. In fact, there's just a picture of the flower and a picture of the foliage, name of the plant, and then the QR code. This is something that I'm doing new, where I know they're natives, putting in their red native, because one of the goals the overall program has is to do a lot more focus on native plants and helping people identify that this is something that does do well here and is native. So
when you print the actual scanner part, like if you're creating something like this in Word, how large does the actual scanner, that little square, have to be for somebody to be able to scan it?
the QR code?
Yeah.
I've been doing it about 2/3 of an inch.
Oh, that's tiny. Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if I. Yeah, it doesn't have it in here. but
So
it's
is
not that
the-
large. Another question?
Yeah, how big is the sign?
It's
Am-
a little bit larger than a 3x5 card.
Okay,
And if you have, instead of doing the pouches, if you actually have I have a laminator. So I could laminate it myself and it would do the same thing, correct?
Yes, you could. The challenge is that you need the pouches that I've got, and I would recommend if you want to do this, go ahead and buy more, because I think all the garden coordinators would be fine with it. Is they're 10 mil, they're thicker, and the pouch ensures that you'll get a good seal all the way on all four sides. Whereas if you do an 8.5 by 11 and then cut it, you run the risk of having a slight opening that allow moisture to get in.
So when you print these, you're printing them and cutting them and separating them slightly before you laminate them, so you have a good seal around each one.
Yes, and actually I print them onto the Avery pre marked and perforated sheets. So it's a thick stock paper that is already quartered for an 8.5 by 11. And as I said, I'll trim the bottom 1/4 of an inch just so they fit in the pouch better. But let's go back to, I'll show you the whole process now because we've got pages open. So jump back to Safari where we were looking at Finder. I'll then highlight the name, copy it, jump back to this page, and paste it. Go back, and this is another thing I wanted to show you. While the pictures on Missouri Botanical Garden are okay, and some of them are really good, I've been finding that if I go to Bing and look up images, I can get some much better ones. So that's what I've been doing. And I'll look for one that's a picture of the plant with the flowers, and then we'll look for one that's just of the leaves. And once again, you hover over the page, copy the image, then I'm right-clicking again, jump back to my open page, pasting, highlighting, and just changing it around. Do that a couple times. Zoom into the flower a bit. And I'll probably have to shrink this one a bit. Yep. Does the hellebore have a common name? Does anyone know?
It says there at the top.
Yeah, Corsican hellebore. So I grabbed the common name there, and I'll go ahead and paste that in. Oops, that way. See, I don't use Google Docs as much, so I'm not sure if there is a format painter. Those of you who use Microsoft Word, there is a paintbrush tool, 22.5. And if you highlight something the way you like it, and click on the paintbrush tool, it then will copy that formatting to the same or whatever you then paint over. And it's a really slick way. I'm going to jump back to where it downloaded the QR code. So when I clicked return, it automatically downloaded this little file. And once again, in the Apple environment, it automatically opens up the preview app, and I can then click on the cut tool or the cropping tool and copy it, which is up here on the edit, copy, jump back to my open page, paste. I then click wrap text, and what it does then is you see when I clicked on in the item itself, it gives me inline, which would then create that big space between the words, wrap text, which is going to then move the text around the box, or break text. And so I'm going to do wrap text. And I'm going to move it over a bit and up, too far. I don't know if this is native or not, but we got another
Might
sign
be a
there.
clue.
I'm sorry?
Corsican might be a clue that it is not native.
Yeah. Yeah, but we can jump back to the page. A lot of the information, yeah, native range is Sardinia, but evergreen leaf, showy flower. People say what tolerates deer. Well, apparently deer don't like to eat these. And as I said, they're blooming right now in the fairgrounds garden before even the daffodils and the hyacinths are up, which I never did. So that's the process. What I will do then to fix it in here so that it doesn't move its formatting, I'll save the file as a PDF. Or print it out as a PDF. You see print options. And we don't want black and white. We want color. And you'll see that's what I've been doing to create those signs.
And then Kevin, how is there a special holder for these?
Now, what I've done is I have purchased little 1-inch squares of outdoor Velcro, and I just I just put those onto our existing signs, ideally on either side of the existing sign, so that when the plant is out of bloom or out of interest, we'll be able to just take off the laminated sign and go back to something a little less conspicuous.
Okay.
So that's, as I said, that's my vision. I'm willing to take anyone's suggestion, but at this point, I'm the only one doing it, so I get to call the rules.
Absolutely.
But you can see that in the Google Docs app, it allows me to open as a PDF. And what it's then going to do is save it as a PDF. Once it's open there, I can save it out and know that it won't change its formatting at all. You email it to somebody and they open it up in a different application, you might find that all your pictures are out of whack and it's now on 2 pages rather than 1. So it's really best to save it as a PDF before you start trying to print or share it. But that's it. That's what I had wanted to show everyone. I hope you saw it. It's really not rocket science. I'm sorry if anyone is now disappointed in what they thought I was doing. It's like, I really thought that was something special. He showed it. It's nothing.
No, I think this is exciting.
But I think, you know, there's a number of things out there. And as I said in my introductory email, there is so much technology that we're not taking advantage of that we really can. And some of it's a little more complex and others is not. Everyone who has an iPhone has the time lapse option built into your phone. And, you know, we just haven't taken the time to have the phone on the table and while we worked, captured everything. So I really want to see us, you know, using these tools a little more openly, and there's a bunch of them that I'm familiar with, and I'll be happy to share them with anyone. But it's even better if we can now start having you all innovate as well. And if you get nothing else out of this, you now have a way that you can share your screen with your tech support desk, your issues. So, final questions?
Yeah,
Concerns?
the whole QR thing, which I don't use at all, but that could take you anywhere that it's set up for. For instance, it could take you to the site on some sharing site or something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm zooming this in so you can read it, but you'll see the data types here on this page. So a YouTube video, an image file, a PDF file, a Google Maps location. That's something that for the flyers for the garden tour.
Yeah.
I'd suggest, you know, we can put a QR code on that map as well as the address, so that, you know, so all you got to do is point your phone at it and it will take, you know, it automatically downloads the directions and you just push go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a really powerful technology that now that you're familiar with it, you'll start seeing it everywhere, because companies are trying to get you kicking and screaming toward it.
It's on the side of a lot of boxes, isn't it, when you're buying a product?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The screen that I'm seeing now, what is it?
This is the one of the free
QRstuff.com?
QRstuff.com.
Okay, there it is. I see it now.
And as I said, there's a bunch of other sites out there. This one I just found, you know, early on, and it's simple enough to use. And I particularly like, once I paste in a website here, when I hit, you know, I paste it and I hit return, it automatically pops up that QR code in preview that I can then just cut and pay or copy and paste to the web or to the page. Okay,
and can you show me one more time where it was that you pasted in
right here.
Oh, so down there. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Did you use static?
No, I use dynamic, and I'll show you the difference. See the page? So yeah. The static page is much more complex. And I'm just concerned that because of that, any kind of printing error, or, you know, you get it too small, you run the risk of it not working. So the dynamic is a much simpler one.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I choose to use.
Yeah, because it's using that shortened URL.
Exactly.
That translates into the longer one.
Right. So
I think that our house is going to be on the water garden tour this summer. They do out of Kansas City, and I may try some of this for some of our water garden stuff to post out there.
Yeah. So you go to the maps. We'll do this one real quick.
对你这样把它弄掉，就是不能说话，弄那个就是说不出去了。
So if I click on my address, you'll see it says share. I click on share, it then brings up that abbreviated link. I can then copy that link,
可以，但
go
是
back to my QR code generator,
Aha.
paste it in, and hit return. And it brings up that QR code. So anyone who has their phone open, if you were to open, the camera app and point it at that QR code, it will then take you to Google Maps at my house.
不行了，上面有这个弄掉了。
不，就是这样子。
So
Okay.
I strongly recommend if you and if you don't like you want to share your
就是
address with somebody, go in there and do that same share thing and
你
take
告诉是什么？
this abbreviated website URL and text it to people. And what will come up is that Google Map address.
嗯，
So the Google Docs is free. As I said, I have Microsoft Office and I use that, but it's because I invested in it a long time ago. And
Are you helping them to do these addresses for the houses that are on the home tour to go on the map?
I've offered it to them, yes.
I think that just because I know one of the house right across the street from you is on the tour.
Yes. Yeah, my
So-
thought is just having one address for mine or for theirs would be adequate because you'd see the other one, see mine, and
Right.
vice versa.
嗯，
But yeah, I sent it over to them and showed them how easy it would be to just paste those QR codes onto a PDF of the map.
Oh, that'd be handy. Just scan it into your phone and
I thought so. The only comment I got when I put it out to the broader group was, well, the other was so clean. My problem is that Google Maps has gotten really sketchy recently. And I've had it take me way out of the way. And I don't know why. It's just wrong. And
yeah, I've had it take me down dirt roads and stuff.
yeah, and I just assume, if we're going to take someone there, don't let them put in the address because it will take North 23rd Street and put it at South 23rd Street.
That's happening all the time at the Native Med Garden.
Yeah, and so I would just assume
South, yeah.
that this QR code is the right direction, and anyone who wants it there just open their camera and takes it right to it. So
And you can just text that to somebody and they just click on it.
yeah, you can, as I said, you get this share, copy the link. If I go back into messages, which is Apple's text message, and copy that link or paste that link into whoever I'm texting to, what will show up in their world is I'll click on my daughter. Now can you see it at the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
yeah，
Yeah.
So it just got off the. I'm using a big monitor, but when you that is that link I just copied from Google Maps.
嗯，
So when you send the link and you text that link to somebody, what shows up is not just the address but a picture. And if I were to click on this,
那这边他们就可以
take
看
me
到了。
back to Google Maps. So if you texted someone's phone with that link, what would show up, it would then take them to the Google app, the Maps app in their phone. Open up
So by link, you mean the QR code.
yes.
Okay, so you're texting the little QR square.
I didn't do the QR code in this case. I did just the shortened link. So this
The actual link. Yeah.
So that's what I texted,
Copy link.
that picture and the associated directions, or it's not directions. It's actually the shortcut to the Google Maps app. But once again, I urge you to, I know there's stuff that you're really comfortable with, but it's really funny. All the people I managed over the years, all the things I thought I was teaching them, what they really liked was the technology stuff. They said, yeah, you dragged me kicking and screaming into it, but I would never go back. If you're working in any of the gardens or any of the projects you're doing, think about different ways that you can use this technology to help us get the word out more broadly and easily to the people that we're attracting to the various gardens.